Alex Conant is the former communications director for Senator Marco Rubio. He's now a partner at Firehouse Strategies, joins us now. Alex, we heard Donald Trump last night, a very hardline speech, and in a radio interview today says he's softening. Where's the softening?
Well, look, yesterday I think was actually a very good day for Donald Trump's campaign. His trip to Mexico was a huge success. The images coming out of that made him look very presidential. And it was what he needs to do. I mean, he needs to convince people that he has a judgment and he's capable of being president. Events like the one in Mexico yesterday helped that. He also needs to unite Republicans. Right now, he's only getting about 85% of Republicans supporting him. If he wants it to be very competitive this fall, he needs to get north of 90%. I think immigration is one of those issues where he has the potential to unite Republicans. I think that's why he talked about it last night, why he's doing radio interviews this morning talking about immigration. He knows that that's an issue that Republicans are going to support him on.
Except that those Republicans that many expected him to reach out to with a softer stance on the entire immigration issue of trying to not deport the 11 million that are there. He didn't reach out to that far side. He didn't reach out to other Republicans. He stuck with his base.
Yeah, it's interesting. If you look at the actual policies that he's promoting in the speech last night and what his surrogates are saying, a lot of it is bipartisan. I mean, when he talks about E-Verify, when he talks about securing the southern border, when he talks about adding Border Patrol and ICE agents, I mean, that's all bipartisan stuff. That's stuff that Senate Democrats and even President Obama are on the record being supportive of. You're right. It's when he starts talking about deporting 11 million people where that's not going to happen. And everyone knows we're not going to deport 11 million people. I think that's where
he's got some political... He tells us that it is, though, Alex. He tells us that it will happen.
But it was not part of his speech last night, and I didn't hear the whole radio interview this morning. But I think he needs to emphasize the stuff that it does have bipartisan support when it comes to immigration, including E-Verify, including securing the southern border, and then modernizing our legal immigration system. That is all very good bipartisan territory where 70–80% of Americans are going to agree with him on, and frankly, where Hillary Clinton has some issues. I mean, Hillary Clinton has never done anything to reform immigration. In fact, she was one of the key votes that voted to kill immigration reform back when she was in the Senate in 2006.
We're seeing some tightening in one of the new national polls that's out there. A Fox News poll has Trump and Hillary Clinton in a virtual tie. What can you make of those numbers right now?
Well, it's what I was just saying. I mean, he needs to bring Republicans together. I mean, he needs to unite Republicans behind him. And I think he's making some success with that, in part because he's had a good couple of weeks in terms of staying on message, not making unforced gaffes, and because the bad news continues to come for Hillary Clinton. And I think Republicans look at that, and increasingly he's doing a little bit better amongst Republican voters. And as he does, you're going to see his numbers rise. He won't beat her, though, until he's able to win over independent voters. And that's where he has a real challenge, because there are questions about his judgment and his character that he has not yet been able to address. Although I will say events like the one in Mexico yesterday really help in that respect.
But how does he do that? Because it's beyond that. It's some of the issues. Again, people wanted to see maybe a softer stance on some of these immigration policies. He does still say that all 11 million undocumented immigrants need to go back. How does he get those independents?
Well, look, I mean, we've got 68 days to go. I think that's the key question facing this election. And I'm not convinced that there is a pathway at this point, because this campaign has lasted so long. Most voters have already made up their mind. In fact, they made up their mind a long time ago, because they've seen so much of Donald Trump. They've seen so much of Hillary Clinton. And don't forget, Hillary Clinton has spent tens of millions of dollars over the last couple of weeks in key states, reinforcing all these negative images of Donald Trump with TV ads. And his campaign really has not responded to that. And I don't think you can discount that when you look at the electoral map, when states like Virginia, even North Carolina, even Georgia now, and I saw this morning Hillary Clinton's going to start advertising in Arizona. He cannot afford to be playing defense in those states if he wants to be competitive this fall. He needs to figure out a way to lock those away soon and then get on offense in states like Pennsylvania and Ohio, states that he must win if he's going to be elected president in November.
You mentioned some of the troubles for Hillary Clinton, and more news today out about the Clintons, that Bill Clinton used tax dollars to subsidize the Clinton Foundation and support the private email server. Now, this was money from a federal government program that financially supports former presidents. It's a murky thing yet again. How might that impact Hillary Clinton?
I mean, look, the more that she's talking about private servers and secret emails and deleted emails, that's all really bad for her, because it reinforces what people don't like about her. I mean, yes, Donald Trump is underperforming, but so is Hillary Clinton. I mean, the fact that she's not leading by a lot is indicative of what a weak candidate she really is. And the more time we spend talking about this, I, for the life of me as a communications professional, cannot understand why the Clinton campaign is incapable of turning the corner on some of these stories. I think doing a press conference would actually make sense for her, because there are so many outstanding questions about her actions at the State Department, about the Clinton Foundation, and those questions aren't going to go away until she answers them. And you answer them in a press conference, not in a series of one-on-one interviews where oftentimes you only have more questions left over, or other networks want to ask the same questions over again. I think she has to do a press conference. I think it makes sense for her to do a press conference. I expect her to do a press conference, and in fact, it wouldn't surprise me at all if she did one on Friday, as most Americans are taking off for Labor Day.
Well, right now, 271 days without that. Alex Conant in Washington, thank you so much.
Hey, thank you.